Some other news in the last week, of course, was Frank Oz was interviewed by Variety, I believe, and was asked questions about The Last Jedi. And
Yes.
he gave a very, what's the best way to put it? He gave a very weird response.
Mm.
Something along the lines of, I'm a prisoner of war, and all
Yeah.
I can give is my name, my rank, and my serial number.
Talk about it. I can't know.
No, Jedi,
Yeah.
I'm
Mm.
not. Yes.
Mm.
Um, but once again, it seem all my theories and everything that I've been saying in the last few weeks, there's all these little things that have started to come true, and I'm like going, oh, Yoda could be in The Last Jedi. But to me, there were rumors sprouting of Frank's return to Star Wars ages ago. There was a rumor that there was a set built on the lot down there at Pinewood that was to house a puppet or have the
Yep.
use for a puppet. Frank was spotted in England
Yep.
doing some work there, but once again, no one was willing to say. And of course, his response. But I think you find that anyone who's worked in Star Wars, they're on non-disclosure agreements until the end
Oh
of
yeah.
time.
I'd love to work for Lucasfilm, but I'd hate to work for it at the same
Oh,
time. You know, it'd
because
be
you'd be
just
itching to tell
shocking.
us. Like, it's interesting when you hear those things that people who work for them and they go, I couldn't even tell my wife and
I
kids.
know. And you
Um,
imagine, imagine going out to dinner parties, birthday parties, whatever, and people know you work for Lucasfilm, and oh, so Blair, what's happening in the new Star Wars movie? I mean, it'd just be, terrible. Anyway,
so, what are your thoughts of Yoda returning, and where do you see him sitting in the story? What sort of position do you think he'll play out if he is indeed in this film?
oh look, he's definitely in this movie. It just makes sense. If this new trilogy, this is its Empire Strikes Back,
Mm.
as far as tone, and he's got to be there in some way. Look, we know, like you talking about Obi-Wan a few minutes ago being on Tatooine for 20 odd years. I mean, he
Yeah,
was obviously communicating with Qui-Gon and over the years. And Yoda says, "Training I have for you." And so yeah, for 20 odd years, no wonder he was known as the crazy old hermit in the desert. He's the old man who gets seen talking to nobody. You
that's it.
know. So that's why they're. So I'm sure with Luke, it's been the same thing. Luke's been, since whatever happened, and
Yeah,
he's done the runner. Let's face it, all Jedi go into hiding
they seem
at
to.
some,
Yeah, don't they?
at
They're a
some state.
bunch of
So
wusses.
Luke's obviously been communicating with Yoda,
Mm.
and yeah, as well. So, and maybe even Anakin as well. We don't know. But so I fully believe. I don't think Yoda's going to be there in physical form.
No.
I've got a feeling he will be appearing as a Force ghost.
Yep.
Whether or not we see that much of him, whether or not he just does like an Obi-Wan a couple of times and turns up and,
Yep.
gives Luke training. But I really fully believe that Luke has been communicating for, however long he's been there, a decade or whatever, with both Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Look, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Like, I think Yoda's going to have quite a larger part than I think a lot of people expect. I believe that he's going to have a lot of relevant information. Once again, one of my theories is that Yoda knew of Snoke beforehand, or
It's his
knows
son.
it's
Yeah,
his
sorry.
son. Yeah, that's right. It's his son. But I think Yoda is going to play a very big part, and he's going to be the one that's going to do a lot of the revealing, I think, in this
Mm,
film. I think he's going to be the one that's going to be dropping the bombs in the film, going, you're going to be like, what? Yoda knew this, and Yoda knew that, and hang on a tick, what are you trying to tell Luke now? And I think Yoda's going to play a very big part in this film. And
okay.
once again, Frank Oz playing very mum on it all and being very coy about it all. I think he's done some work on it, and like I say, I think Yoda coming to the table, but it's interesting. Like as you were saying before, are we gonna, as Anakin, gonna be there? Qui Gon? Are we gonna have references to these characters? Are we gonna see
Mm,
them in some sort of a Force ghost? We know Qui Gon we can't because we know what happened at the Clone Wars. He said he never finished his training. He could still communicate through the Force, but he couldn't turn into an image, so to speak. He couldn't turn into a ghost completely, but he could project himself through the Force as a voice, which
well,
is
he turned up as a ghost in the Clone Wars, though.
he did on the Force planet Morbius,
Mm,
but
mm.
in the Lost missions, he actually says to Yoda, he goes, "I never completed my training." therefore I can't appear to you the way I want to. But where that was place was a pure conduit of force energy, he had that ability purely there because it was there. But anywhere else, he couldn't. He couldn't materialize. That's the word I'm
But
looking for.
the Force has now awakened, and Rey is
Well,
a conduit of that.
Could be.
Is
Who
it, of that
knows?
power
Who knows?
now. And she's powerful enough just in her projection and her being to be able to do that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Like I say, it will be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I firmly believe Yoda as a character is going to play quite a significant role in this film. Well, I'm hoping he does anyway. And I think they'll do everything they can to keep it a secret until maybe the second trailer.
Until Frank Oz comes out like he did the other day and says, I can't say anything.
I can't
Is
say
it
anything.
happening? I can't say nothing. Well, that's basically it's happening, man.
Yeah, it's happening. But it's also
that's and I'm surprised that I think somebody else mentioned this. I heard on another podcast that because he's as beloved as he is in the Star Wars community, that he probably didn't get the come and visit Kathy Kennedy in her office sort of phone call after that one. So
no, I think he would have been good. I think it would have been fun. But it was also interesting too that during, I don't know if you heard this, but during the Beauty and the Beast press tour, Ewan McGregor got to do a Q&A on Reddit, and he was asked, of course, Star Wars questions, and a lot of them were, are you going to appear in the next film?
Yeah.
And he answered every question but those ones.
Right.
He completely dodged it. And of course, so there's talk, is he going to appear? Now, we know Ewan's voice appeared along with Alex in The Force Awakens. So you think that at some point we're going to see Obi-Wan and Yoda maybe together, which would be amazing. This is what I think. Okay, here's another theory I have. They've always said, and I know in Rebels Recon, they talked about Ewan and Alex facial features have got a very similar pattern.
I saw that.
Got a very similar pattern.
Yeah.
So you could say that because of the technology that they now have to bring dead people back to life, you could have someone like Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi again, but CG his face to the point it now looks like Alec Guinness's at that age when he passed in A New Hope.
And if he was
slightly alter it, you know what I mean? Like give him that facial.
Well, maybe they could do that, but then have like his face changing between Ewan and Alec Guinness, sort of like phasing in and out, sort of thing. And as a Force ghost, that would be
The Last Jedi 2001: A Space Oddity.
That would look pretty cool, as far as the realism of it's concerned. Because if you make it like a Force ghost, it's you don't, you're not looking at it like you're looking at Tarkin looking for flaws all the time. So, I mean, as I keep saying, the possibilities are endless. But you're right. I don't know how much of a part still Yoda's going to have. I know he's going to be there, and I know obviously in the training sequences with Rey and Luke, he's going to show up. Luke's obviously been by himself for a long time and has been talking to people for a long time. So I've got a feeling he's going to be in that sort of a crazy old man vibe to some degree that we saw sort of Yoda in when Luke found Yoda. That just happens, and then they get brought back into the world, and being alone by oneself for so long is not a good
well,
thing.
No, as we've seen from, like you say, previous Jedi, how insane they get.
Exactly, yeah. So
it's a lonely time.
Yeah, but there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever, just from what Frank's attitude and what he actually said, saying something but not saying something. Yeah, for sure.
That always says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. No,
you wouldn't go. No, it's not. Nah. Look,
if he wasn't in it, he'd have put that to bed straight away.
That's right.
Nothing to do with it. I haven't even had the phone call.
No, that's it. It'd be like me being in it. I'd be like, no, not in Star Wars. Sorry, guys. Hate to disappoint, but no. And but then when you go, well, I can't say anything, and You know, it's like, I'm a prisoner of war. It's like, dude, so what? They're holding your soul hostage back at Lucasfilm. It's like,
Exactly.
don't let it out of the cage. It's the well of souls, you know. They've got Indiana Jones standing over it. Did Frank Oz say something? We've got to keep the soul in there for a bit longer. It's just,
That's it.
it's like, Indy, he's let out a Star Wars thing. It's like, oh, no, he didn't. No, stop. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But,
Very dangerous. You go first.
You go first. I love it. But yeah, look, once again, I think everyone who's in Star Wars literally signs that piece of paper.